Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dashboard and Pipeline Management video. I want to take a minute first just to talk to you about an opportunity and how critical that is to our success, your personal success, the class's success at selling the golf tournament, and PES's success, and ultimately SEI's success. Opportunities are the key. They are a container that holds everything that there is to hold about a sale. All the activities, all of the products, all of the notes and attachments, everything. So we're going to start by looking at, I'm picking on Ali Asher from last semester. So we have some data to work with. And I'm looking at an opportunity called Amana Spring 20 CRM. You already know that's the naming convention that we use. So you can see that the close date was May 1st. His expected close date was May 1st. He was selling them one foursome for $500. These are all the related lists. So every one of these things like contact roles, products, payments is related to this particular opportunity, and it shows up in a related list over here on the right side. Now I have a pretty big screen, so there may be stuff on my screen that isn't on yours, but that just means you have to scroll either up or down or left or right to see the same things I'm seeing. The major part of the screen is here in the middle, and it's got either the detail or header information about the opportunity or the activities listed, okay? So in this case, and I'm not going to go over every one of the fields on here, it's not necessary, but I just want you to see that this is a pretty complete set of information about an opportunity. I want to encourage you to fill as much information in here about the description as you can about this opportunity. Anything you know about why they might be interested in the golf tournament or in being your mentor should be here. The other point I want to make in general about opportunities and leads, it's true for both. As soon as you get a name of someone that you think might be interested, create the lead or opportunity. Don't wait until you have a bunch of information. Immediately get it into your tracking process so that you then can use the automated tools to help you follow up, follow through, and process the lead or opportunity. What's the difference between creating a lead and creating an opportunity? We create opportunities if the account already exists within Salesforce, and we're authorized to create an opportunity. We can be the owner of the opportunity. If it's not an opportunity for an account that's already in the system, then we create a lead. And in either way, when you create an opportunity or a lead, you are claiming ownership, okay? So I want to, before we leave this screen, I want to show you a couple of things. These stages are really important, okay? Right now, this is in the needs analysis stage. That means it's already been through the approach and prospect stage and contacted stage, and it's in the needs analysis stage. Next stage is present a solution, negotiate and review, and closed. It is not necessary that every opportunity go through every stage. It's quite common that negotiation and review is skipped in CRM. Every opportunity starts in the approach and prospect stage. It has to. If you're creating an opportunity, you have to start it there, even if you're already in the needs analysis stage. You start it in the approach and prospect stage and save it. Once it's saved, you can move it, okay? So that's an important first step. It is very important that you move your opportunities along, okay? A typical opportunity in CRM, assuming that you follow up and follow through as appropriate for an opportunity, shouldn't last more than 2 or 3 weeks at the very longest. So what that means is for every lead and opportunity that you create, you want to either have it closed won or closed lost, or if it's a lead unqualified, in 2 or 3 weeks. There's nothing magic about that. If you're working it and they're active and they're involved and it takes 6 weeks, that's okay. But what tends to happen is if you work it actively for 2 or 3 weeks, you will either sell it or not. Okay, so anything longer than that would be an exception. So here are the details. We also, by clicking on this tab, can look at all of our activity associated with this particular opportunity. So we had a couple of phone calls in April, a couple of phone calls in February, some emails in February, and a call, 2 emails, and another call in January. So some pretty significant activity over a pretty significant period of time. Okay, and it's all here. And if I click on this, I see the detail on the email or a detail on the call. Again, it's to your benefit to put as much detail about what happened on that phone call as you can remember. So what's important is to log that email or that call as soon as it occurs, because you remember more then. And that memory is going to help you later when you come back to this account. All right, so move along in stages. When you have contacted the person, and the definition of contact is they have interacted with you, not just one way from you to them. That's the definition of contacted. You can click on contacted when that occurs. Okay, so we can talk more about how you qualify to move the opportunity along later, but it's very important that you move it along. All right, now I'm going to click on home, and we're going to go home, and what we're going to see is your PES dashboard. There are two, I'm going to talk to you about 2 PES dashboards, yours and CRM's. We're going to look at both briefly. Okay, so your dashboard is set up to be your information. So these are your opportunities, your activities, okay, and so on. So if you look at my opportunity pipeline, I have about $150,000 in my pipeline. 100,000 of it is in the approach stage, and 50,000 of it is in the contacted stage. That's useful for me. I need to know. I'll show you one later that's got a little bit more information in it. This is a list of my activities. How hard am I working? I've got 117 activities as PES activities, 5 as exec ed opportunities, and then there's 1 down here as other. Okay, so those are activity lists. Now I'm going to show you, I'm going to also look at the CRM dashboard, and we're going to look at the pipeline on the CRM dashboard. So if I go to the dashboard component and click on the CRM dashboard, it takes us to our class dashboard. So everything on this dashboard is about the entire class, and most of it today on August 28th is still set to 0. But I have taken one of these dashboards and redated it so that it's looking at last semester. So there's data in there that I can show you. What it shows you is we have $90,000 that we closed, $13,000 in the approach stage, $10,000 in the contacted stage, and so forth. Like any dashboard, I can click on the view report and look at the underlying report that created that dashboard component. Okay, and we're going to do that. And I want to show you a little bit about reporting, but mostly that's a different module. We really want to concentrate on the pipeline. Why is a pipeline important? Primarily because it tells you what you need to work on, what you need to get better at. It's not primarily for me, although I use it as your manager and Yara uses it. So we're going to look at Ali here. We looked at his so all I do is click on Ali, and notice we get a new button when I do that called drill down. So I'm going to drill down so that I'm only looking at Ali's data. This is the same thing as looking at the My Dashboard. you'll notice some very interesting things about Ali's data. He's got a really nice pipeline. He's got, remember the quote is $800. He's got a pipeline worth $13,000. One of the things that we want you to do is we want you to do, well, two things we want you to do. We'll talk about this in class, but we want you to establish your own personal goal. It doesn't have to be $800. It could be, shouldn't be less than that, but it could be $800, or it could be that you want your goal to be $15,000 or $10,000 or $1,600, 200% of quota, $1,800 for reasons we'll talk about later. But we want you to establish your own goal. Whatever that goal is, if you want to make it, then the sum of this report should be 3 times that goal, because you're only going to close at best 1/3 of the opportunities that you work on. That's the way the world works. So if you look at Ali in last semester, and of course this is at the end of the semester, he had $13,000 in his pipeline, of which he had 7,400 in the contacted stage, 3,000 in the closed won stage, 500 in the needs analysis stage. And by the way, I can see the same thing here. How does this information get here? It gets here because Ali moved his opportunities through the pipeline. Okay. By the way, the one set of opportunities that were of stages that we're not showing here is closed lost, because that's not in our pipeline anymore. Okay. I want to show you one other thing. Down here, we have a series of buttons, select buttons. I'm going to look at the detail rows. Notice I'm only seeing summary data. When I look at the detail rows, I see every product and every account that Ali was trying to sell to or did sell to last semester. Okay. So here's the same pipeline, $12,950. There's the same funnel. There's the same summary report. But now I've got every product and company that he's selling to. And what's interesting, look here, there's 89 rows. So Ali has a very large pipeline, not unreasonably large for if Ali's goal is $4,000, this is about the right size pipeline. This is what he needs. So the point of this is that one of the reasons why we have this report is so that he can look and see where his accounts are in the pipeline and move them along. You can get directly to the opportunity from here. So if he wants to call on the Granite Center Spring 20, he just clicks here and he can do it. Okay, he can go directly to the opportunity. Okay. So that's what, it's very important that you maintain your opportunity, maintain your pipeline. And here's the point. He's got 89 products and accounts in here. How do you manage those? How do you know what you need to call next? You can't do it manually. It's too many. Things are going to fall through the cracks. You're going to forget to do an email. You're going to forget to do to contact someone. Having a pipeline helps you control and be responsive to the people in the pipeline at the right point in time. So will tasks, and we'll show you that later. Okay, but please keep your pipeline up to date. Remember the 3 times rule. Your pipeline should be 3 times your own personal goal, and keep moving your opportunities along. Again, opportunities should not be alive for much more than 2 or 3 weeks, because that's how long it takes a person to decide whether they're going to participate in the golf tournament or not. No magic about that, but you should try and move your opportunities through your pipeline on that timeline. Okay? Next module will be reports.